Hello everybody, we are back with another Ultra Rumble video. And yes, it's another tier list video. And I know recently I've been doing tier lists for a pretty long while already. But yeah, I just couldn't really find like a good enough um clip of me just playing. I'd have two different clips of cheaters, hackers basically. So yeah, like the infamous AUFO hacker, which pulls everybody out of the map in circle, and then the other one was basically a teleporting Bakugo. I might release them, but they're season 13, not season 14. Don't have anything special with season 14, but yeah. Other than that, for the gameplay side of things, for the tier list, this is season 14. Now, the one you're seeing here currently on your screen, besides the three on the unsure category, this is basically season 13's tier list. And going through season 14, since because in season 13 we already had a preview of buffs and nerfs of characters going through season 14. The tier list here currently is not changed at all. There are going to be some characters that will be going lower or higher, but if you want the reasons as to why these characters are where they are, you can check season 13's ranking. Because this video is going to be a bit more shorter, I'm only going to be changing only a few characters' positions and maybe giving them a reason why, but I'm going to be explaining the three new characters that were released in season 14: Armor All Might, Thousand Hand Shiki, and of course the secret character Lady Nagant. Now, let's get going. So, alright, Armor All Might. So, Armor All Might, a lot of people kind of underestimate him, I do believe. But currently, right now, not so much. Everybody kind of has consensus that he is basically up in the A to S tiers, maybe possibly in the high B tier. Personally, for me, there's two ways to think about it. Without tuning, he's already perfectly balanced, but only up to a high A tier, basically. And the only reason why is because he can't exactly kill. He can, but it's not exactly recommended for its play style unless you have certain tunings. And just to let you guys know, I am including specific tuning builds just in case, like I did for all these other characters, basically. But for the most part, the tuning is just an asterisk. It's not the main focus, but there are options, and it's the reason why I think it might bump them just a tiny bit. So for Armor All Might, he's just basically a Tech Shoto 2.0 because he's perfectly well tuned. He's not over tuned, unlike current purple shirt Shoto is basically still overtuned. They didn't really nerf his damage, given that he has an extra icicle that he can use at explosion. So yeah. But Armor All Might is a playstyle where I actually really do enjoy. He's more so a person who's in the back lines giving drinking for support drinks, but he's also a person who could actually have the ability to just run away. Basically, his special action is really good for burst speed, but if you want to take tight corners, you can always just tap the special action. Tapping special action just lets him have more movement control. It's just a burst of speed. You can do it up to 4 to 5 times depending. I don't know if they changed it or not, but if you want to do the going through the map in super high speeds, just hold down the special action so you can just rocket through. It's only 2 uses, even though it's like a huge chunk of your percent. You could also just hold the jump button to basically fly into the air. Yeah, he has a lot of mobility, especially with his beta as well, including with that. And his gamma is mostly just used as a homing attack, just as a deterrent, but it can also stun enemies as well. And of course, the alphas. I never. The thing is, I did use the fire bullets. Fire bullets are like it's just a weaker version of Red Shoto's alpha, which is still pretty good, and it can does burn damage. But I think the ice shots better, which is his normal shots because they freeze enemies. So it's a very good deterrent and just stun enemies so you can get out faster. The other playstyle is him being aggressive. He's basically a pretty good chase down character. He's similar to a rapid, but unlike most rapids, since he's a technical, he can disrupt movement of other people, which with beta he can catch you, or with gamma to basically stun you, or alpha to freeze you, which is also stun. He can do a lot of stun, but the thing is his power output is really minuscule in a certain way. His beta is pretty good for the taser for grounded, but when you have used beta in the air, it does actually kind of just puts him in place, which does some ramming damage, but you have to do melee. Yeah, tech armor all might, or I just say armor all might. His best ability is literally just his melee, which does a shit ton of damage. His alpha can do a lot of damage as well, and that's basically his high damage dealing moves. But he is pretty much balanced. With tuning, however, there's two ways. You can go the super aggressive way, which you would actually need to add in more speed and have some extra power boost, or reload speed, so you can actually shoot more of your shots, etc., etc. Have a better chase down potential on ground, or just using your special action to chase them down and stuff like that. The other one is survival. For me personally, I go for the survival build, and you just need one tech. You can use Fixer, which is Monema's special action. This Monema's tuning skill to buff up your stats and just increase your health points. Here's the thing, Armor All Might, despite him being a little broken, and I'll get more into it, but as a side note, Armor All Might currently has 450 HP. They might nerf it, but 450 HP is the highest health pool of any character in the entire roster. Considering the survival build, you can either make him super tanky or just have more health points. Unfortunately, for all the tank fans, you would need more HP. But the thing is, with Fixer, the highest potential HP pool you can get for Armor All Might is basically around 480 to 475, because with Fixer and the HP stat increases, you can get at least plus 20 or a little more depending if you have the correct build. That's technically what I have. So Armor All Might could have 480, which means that he can at least survive Lady Nagant and can survive a lot of rushdown characters. Bad news? I mean, the bad news literally is just that if you get infinite combo, there's really nothing you could do. That's kind of about it. Your secondary would have to be the Cemento's recovery or Mount Lady's defense up, or you can use another tech card that goes for reload or any special action that affects reload speed, so that you can actually get away faster. That's basically survivability. You would actually the specific skin I use. Yeah. I don't have enough. There's not enough space for increased power, so I just have to use defense and tech basic defense and health pools basically. Because of this, if I'm including tuning skills, he is basically in the echelon of low S, because he is a perfectly balanced high tier. Even with the tunings, a lot of people can still actually find ways to kill him, so it's not too overpowered, and his damage output is still below average, even with his high damaging melees and alphas, basically. Yes, you can combo, but it's hard to combo with him. As far as I know, not a lot of people actually use the Armor All Might for combos, just for stunning and chase down, which is technically how you're supposed to play with Armor All Might. But yeah, I think low S tier is where he's at. But if we're not counting with tuning, he is basically the high A. But low S is where I would put him currently. I do think he can go a bit more higher, but conservatively, I would just put him here. That's a long talk for Armor All Might. Next is 1010 Shigi. He has auto regeneration, which is a thing. Higher levels, it does last longer, which is his gamma, by the way. Nothing much has changed. His special action is still pretty good, but like with most other Shigis. His beta is a really good movement option, and you can cancel beta to beta just to basically like go further. And yeah, the only thing is that in terms of movement, I do think Yellow Shiggy is still superior, but he has the range and the power, surprisingly. Also, hitting alphas does recharge your gamma back to full, so you can keep healing. His heal is still pretty slow. It does get better when you get higher levels, but it's still minuscule. It's good though, so it's perfectly balanced in terms of the healing, but specific tuning skills would actually make him go a bit too high. If you're going to go with tuning skill builds that will make him immortal, or at the very least like very close to it, then he would actually be also in the low S tier. But currently right now, that's technically the only way you can do with him. But that's kind of his playstyle, isn't it? His playstyle is to disrupt enemies and catch them by surprise. He is a technical character. No traps, but yeah, disruption is his best forte, and it is literally what he actually does. The hardest thing about him is basically just aiming. His beta is a very good AoE that does 2 hits with bigger AoE, but that's kind of about it. With the alpha being a very long distance attack, only downside is that it takes a while to fire, which is not that great. But if you can use the scan ability, then you can try to predict where they're gonna hit, where they're gonna move to hit, and yeah, that's kind of about it. Overall, I do think he is basically the most simple character in the newest roster. S tier would be one thing, but the problem with him is that his attacks are really slow to come out, but he does super high damage. His healing ability does make him survive much more longer than most of the cast, but unfortunately the healing is slow unless you have specific tuning skills that would actually help you heal either faster or survive long enough to get some shield back. Oh yeah, and regeneration does give out shield and HP regen for a short time, so there's that, and can also be recharged by hitting with alpha. A lot of people found tech with him already. I do believe he has the makings of a S tier. I would say higher in the S rank, but unfortunately with his attack speed, it's not that good. And even with the tuning skill Accelerate, which would make him a bit more of a monster, it's hard to hit. It's kind of hard to hit with melee, and it does actually ruin some of his good combos. And of course, the hitbox window. I mean, there's dodge canceling, which I think they patched that already. So yeah, I think 1000-arm Shiggy, Tech Shiggy, basically gets up to the A ranks, but he does get powdered on by a lot of characters that actually has faster attack speed. I do think that he is in the high A range, but not too much. I do think he fits here currently. Now for everybody's surprise character, love her or hate her, Lady Nagant. I do like that Lady Nagant in this season. I am a little upset that she is in this season, because I feel like next season would have been a good section for her. But because we have Armor All Might and Tech Shiggy, who are not nerfed, I think that's actually pretty good, because she might be a new contender for the top 5 right now. Because here's the thing, she's obviously a sniper. She has a beta, which basically stuns people in place, does multi-hit, and has superior range. For some reason, you can shoot very far with beta. Beta comes down from the sky, but the target that you can actually set it to is super far. Her gamma is like the one of the best movement options I've seen for a character, and it does kind of make sense. And with the momentum-based movement, it's just even better. Now, for her alpha. Now, alpha is technically similar to Shoto's, or Red Shoto, but other than that, it's pretty strong. It's a bit slow, but once you get to level 3 for the bullet, it becomes a normal sniper bullet speed. But then you have the special action. Special action, she has a double jump, which gives her good movement. The double jump recharges once you basically hit a wall. So once you wall jump, you can just do a double jump off of wall jump, and that's pretty neat. And then you have the scope. Now the scope is its own move, and it takes one singular bullet. That one singular bullet does a lot of damage. So at max, at normal capacity, with headshots, if you hit a headshot, it basically makes it up to 200 damage. Now, if you actually use your tuning skills normally, you can hit up to the amount of 390 with the correct tunings that you would put on normally. I've seen people who could actually shoot their bullets for over, this will sound scary, for over 900 damage. Over 900, about 1,000 damage. That would basically one-shot almost everybody who does not have willpower from, Red Kiri's attack, or shield anyway. It's so much damage that it's just ridiculous. Of course, the over 1,000 damage that she can do is a bug, so hopefully nobody actually is abusing it. I don't know how people would do it. It might be specific to a skill set and also some finagling here and there with also correct team build, but whatever. But currently right now, she is one of the best. Even without the cheats, she is really, really good. She's super oppressive. The only problem, you're not supposed to go close range with her. You're supposed to go either mid-range to super far range. She is a sniper after all. You could do melee, and the only melee move that she has besides, the standard melee combo, which is not that great, to be honest. Gamma is a really good close range option because the Gamma, while it looks like a shotgun, it's just a normal sniper bullet shot, but it does the same amount of damage as Alpha without the second explosion. Although, if you do it in the air, it does a lot of recoil that you can just basically have it as a high jump, and that's pretty good. Also, you could stall in the air with Gamma. So if you stall in the air with Gamma, you release it, use Beta, just stall again for enough Beta reload to come up so you can have multiple Betas, and you can stay in the air. She has, surprisingly, with not being a flyer, she has better aerial superiority compared to every other flyer in the game, which is a plus. So yeah, for me personally, I would actually put her in the low S tier, but that's just because I'm not good with snipers. I played her a lot and I got really, really good. I just do not like to snipe people out in the air. I did twice. It was pretty funny. I one-shot them in the sky with the sniper scope, but I personally do not love the playstyle of snipers, so I just play her normally like I would play for any other character. So I never use I don't really use the scope function unless I'm trying to down somebody. Oh, did I mention that the max amount of damage that a sniper shot could use with the special action shot when person is down is basically 250, so that's a flat number. You can't really go any higher than that. So I do think that high damage is literally a bug. Other than that, because of this, she is still top 5, and considering people who are playing snipers, there is a possibility for no scoping and, of course, the headshot damage. I forgot to mention, the reason why I say headshot damage is because headshots are a thing. So if you, and technically, any character with a projectile can also do headshot damage. It's not just Nagant. However, the headshot damage you would say for like Deku, if you aim for somebody's head with Deku, since the projectile is too big, it would hit the body more times than not, so it won't really do the extra damage. Rapid All Might, in the other hand, or Tecmerio, they can do headshot damage, but the damage increase is really minuscule, so it's never a good idea to just do body shots. But since Lady Nagant is super specific, the best way for her to do her maximum damage is through headshots. So everybody can do headshots, at least if they have bullet type projectiles. But Lady Nagant is the only one that can do it consistently because she's a sniper. Duh. And the damage multiplier from that is very, very high. Body damage is basically 180, but headshot damage is 200. At least that's what I can get consistently, even with the tuning skills I have for her. My tuning skills basically is increased damage, but it's only for people with no shields. Now, the true damage you get for that is shields, but the true power that I can get with my tuning skill is only through HP, which it is basically 390 for headshots, but it's basically 220 for body shots with the HP with no shields. So yeah. But considering with people who play with the sniper style, she's basically really up there. I do think that she can be contender with the top, but yeah, she's contender with the top. There are a lot of other characters that can catch her, but with her high damage and her mobility, it's still really, really good. I do think that she might be the second best. She might be the second best in the game for me personally, but she's somewhere in the top 10 or 5, honestly. So pick or choose. I do think that she is a definite S tier, considering the amount of damage that she can do and the stunning possibilities. Now, that was a little long, but at least it was not an hour like every other video tier list I did. But yeah, let's go into basically what is reslots. Now, this is excluding the ones I just put in. Everybody here is from their season 13 with the season 14 hindsight of, patch notes. Now, almost every character can jump while using alpha. It doesn't exactly really matter except for a few characters, but it doesn't change the position that much. But other than that, a lot of other people found tech with these characters, so let's get to it. First up, Yellow Kiri stays about the same, with Cementos still being a C, but higher C, because for whatever reason, people are more smarter with Cementos, which good on you people. I want to see Cementos climb to the top, please. But Nejire, the problem with Nejire is that she's still in the same tier. She is a flyer, but she is very slow compared to even Endeavor, where to a point I think if a Lady Nagant is good, if the Lady Nagant setting for sniper is fast with their camera controls, they can snipe Nejire out of the sky really quickly. That's not to say that other characters can do the same. She is a really slow flyer, which, to be honest, keeps her at the low seed end. The reason why Kiri is down here is because everybody can just kind of get out of his way, and he doesn't have a good enough... He has movement, but it's not good enough movement to actually, do any good. The thing is that he has new access to tuning skills, so we'll have to see in the next season to see if he actually, gets up higher. I do hope for Kiri buffs, but hopefully not too overtuned. He does do a lot of damage already. He's just kind of slow and he cannot catch anybody out in the sky reliably. Purple Dobby, still the same. Purple Toga actually goes up to A. Beta, apparently they shot above Beta. The thing is that if you keep hitting people with Beta, it goes for even longer. As long as you hold Beta and as long as you hit people, it does go longer. despite the increase of level. At level 1, I can make it last. I can make the beta last for like 30 seconds by chaining people. I don't know why. I never thought it was possible. I did it once and it was just kind of stupid for how long it lasted. There is the glitch she has with Alpha. I hope they actually nerf that, but currently right now, low A is where she is, and considering that her blood suck is good, and plus with Lady Nagant here, since her special action doesn't deplete by pressing special action, you can use Nagant's special action as Toga, and you just basically another Nagant. And it's a little too annoying. Just experienced that a little too much. Rapid Hawks. Yeah, Rapid Hawks is actually decently well now. I do think that he is up to at least the high B tier at the very least. And All Might. I mean, it's kind of sad to see that almost nobody plays Yellow All Might. And I think, but it's kind of good to actually play him now since he's a decent counter to Nagant, but for everything else and how everybody does, not that great. But he can jump with his alpha now, so that is actually a good plus for him. Do you think that he is a bit more higher now? Ibarra is about in the same place with Yellow Hendo twice. Twice is just a little up higher, but he doesn't get higher than this, unfortunately. Red Deku. He's now becoming the bane of almost everybody's existence right now. A lot of smarter Red Dekus are coming out right now, so I would say he's here. His alpha is still pretty annoying, but the problem is that his chase potential is just not there anymore since everybody else can move faster. But in terms of tuning skills, I mean, you can still basically 3-shot people with alpha and beta. So there's that. Not to mention that the glitch, the bug that he still has with Mirio is still a thing. With anybody with shields, it's still a thing. So he does have the potential, but he just is not fast enough and doesn't get enough height. I think being him in high A's not that great. I do think he's like right here now. Yellow Shiggy has the best movement out of all the other Shiggys. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the power output to actually do anything currently. He does damage over time. And for a tank, he's not that tanky. So he kind of fails as a tank character. I don't know why. He has a good amount of defense and he does have good movement, but his damage output is really pathetic. Compare that to Red Shiggy. Red Shiggy has a disadvantage. Just like with Yellow Kiri, he cannot really attack people in the air except for special action, which is why he's in B in first place. But considering that other characters right now, a lot of their stronger moves are when they're grounded, he has a chance. And with the correct tuning build, he is pretty good. I think low A for him is where he would be sitting comfortably right now, so that's good. Now we have the man off one. Listen, it's obvious. He is going to be pretty high. I do think that he is going to be... I do think he's mid-A. Reason why? His special action got buffed again, and it's much more beneficial than I thought it would be. Last time I thought this benefit would give him to B tier, so he's out of the C tier because he can keep his levels. I have underestimated how well this would benefit him. His normal moveset is really good, and since it got buffed and a lot of new tech was found with it, it's really good. Now with the special action, you just basically get a quote-unquote more accurate full power version of that character's quirk skill set that you just stole. So he's better in that regard. He's kind of busted, but not too OP. It does take him a while to switch, so that's just one deficit for him. But other than that, he got buffed and he got loved. That's nice of him. He's not too overpowered now. Hopefully they don't overtune him, but he's perfectly balanced right now. And this is what he really needs in the beginning to be a menace. I'm just surprised they took the devs this long to give him the ability to carry his levels over from special action and not stealing the person he stole for their levels. Like, it is very upsetting to steal person from the end game only to know they have level 1 moveset. It's kind of upsetting. Red Kiri. Red Kiri is now becoming a menace. I gave him the benefit of the doubt, but he is actually being going up there currently. I do think that he is just low A, but a bit higher than the other characters currently. Mount Lady. You can have better arguments for her to be low A, but I think high B is still where she is. She's still pretty much the same. Continuing on, President Mike is still the same. Red Kendo. Let's move her up for obvious reasons. She's a bit more annoying to deal with. Tech Shoto. Surprisingly, Tech Shoto is actually a bit dropping a tiny bit lower on the A rank. He's still A, but because of his movement, it's not really good for him. Ida is actually climbing up on the other hand. I do think that he is actually pretty much in the high mid tier of A, with Momo actually being there as well. Red Shoto. Yeah, let's be honest. Red Shoto right now is in one of the high A tiers at this point. Overhaul. Or let's go Torch Dobby. Torch Dobby currently, they made him stronger. They gave him a good alpha buff. Problem is that the change with his beta, people can dodge out of it, but his animation still plays. So unless this was a bug, he's actually, Red Dobby is not actually that good anymore. I still think he's still in the high B tier. Reason why is, again, they nerfed his beta, so people could actually dodge out of it. Problem is that when people dodge out of it at the last second, his grab animation plays and you're stuck in there for basically like a good while, like 10 seconds, in which people could just obliterate you because your down power doesn't take effect until your animation ends. So yeah, they need to fix that, because the animation plays even when you're just holding air is just bad. So he goes down. Overhaul stays here. Just like with some of the other problems, his alpha is the only way to actually get people out of the air, and he is still a menace and he can heal himself instantly. I think I would prefer instant healing instead of regeneration, but that's just me. But I do think that putting him here is fine. He is a little too grounded. Red Endeavor is still the same, with Yellow Endeavor being the same as well, so they're going to stay in that place. Rapid Bakugo, again, high skill stealing. However, I do believe that he actually kind of reclaims his title, but only into the high A tier, because a lot of people got the new movement down with the momentum buff that everybody got. But yeah, I wouldn't say it's too much of a buff to get him back to S tier. And I think with people learning new tech with him now, he gets up here comfortably. Maybe a bit more buffs, and then maybe he can get up here, or maybe easier to control, maybe? No, maybe it's just a little too much of a wishing pot. Assault. Yellow Deku is still the same. Strike Hawks. Red Hawks. He was good, but he does go a bit below, at least between the Endeavors at this point. I do think that he's better than Red Endeavor, but just a little worse than Yellow Endeavor. He does have super armor. He can fly. He's actually has good movement options. I just think that he is a combo character, not a true high damage character. He doesn't have a high DPS either, so he's just a combo character. Yellow, Young All For One is still here. Red Bakugo, he's still comfortably there. Tech Denki, he's super annoying now. Yeah, that's all I would say. He's super annoying. Rapid Toga, yeah, he's a little. She's still she's still in the top 3. Tamagami. I got his name. Sun Eater? Yeah, I was gonna say Sun Eater. I know I got his name wrong. I'm sorry. But yeah. He's just in that place now. Still with Compress. Compress is still high A tier. Yeah. And for the S tiers, Chaco's got a bit more higher. Froppy stays. This guy, All Might stays. Rapid Deku actually got nerfed so hard. Thank God his infinite combo is harder to hit and it's unreliable, but he is still really annoying. He does not leave the S tier, but he is basically just here. Yeah, I do think that this is the correct position now. He is still a menace, but his low H with the infinite combo gone, a lot of people actually learning how to counter him now with new tech, and also his low HP pool. I think I said that already. It's a little embarrassing for him, but he still mixed it out with at least S tier, but low S tier. I forgot Aizawa. Yeah. Okay, Amirio is still here, pretty good. And yeah, and Monoma. Oh yeah, Monoma. I thought that the nerf to his damage when he copies is not that like it's noticeable, but not too much that it would hurt him. It kind of hurt him. It kind of hurt him a lot. I'm glad it hurt him, but it's like one of that like I'm happy that he got nerfed for everybody. I kind of wish he just not got nerfed for me. And it's just one of those things. Monoma is still good, but here's the thing. With every other character on the roster, that'd be fine. Lady Nagant is the first character where he would never actually get to a full potential because the scope ability and the double jump are actually locked because his special action is the switch or copy, not carrying over like Toga's. So in that regard, yeah. Monoma is actually in the high A tier at this point. He is still a good option, but Monoma's nerf really does hurt him in the long run. His normal moveset is super strong, but unfortunately, yeah, with every other character up here with a pretty good movement, and stuff like that, Monoma is not that great. And also, Monoma is easy prey for Nagant. That's all I'm gonna say. I played Monoma at least 5 times and I died so much because I got sniped. The movement speed that Monoma gets is not fast enough, apparently. Maybe because it takes a long time to charge, I guess? I don't know. I'll see what happens in the season 15. But other than that, Monoma is now in the high A tier, unfortunately. Let's move back a bit. Yeah, I think So yeah, this is basically the tier list currently right now. There's no reason why I put yellow Ochako here. It's just kind of the same place as she was before. And Rapid Ochako is still a menace, but Lady Nagant is rivaling Shinzo. Now, you can argue for one of these two to be number 1. I say Shinzo because his attacks are still more reliable and he's still pretty annoying, but Lady Nagant does counter him slightly since he does stay in one place for a little too long. However, Shinzo is fast enough. If he sees Lady Nagant, that kind of shuts her down completely, and it's really hard to escape when Shinzo's there. Not to mention, if there is an Aizawa nearby, Lady Nagant is just finished. And then there's Ochako, who could just stun people in place with Gamma, and that's for either of them. but I say Rapid Ochako is better because she is, again, faster than Yellow. Not as strong, but the combos are still there. And Tech Muriel's number 5 because it's Tech Muriel. The counters and of course the ability to have permeation while using Alpha for the purple Muriel kind of counters Lady Nagant already, and that's kind of just one defense he does have. Other than that, he has low power, except for Gamma, and a bit of Alpha. But yeah, that's basically the list. That's the updated list for season 14. I'll see you guys in season 15. Technically, it's still a little long, but it is pretty short compared to like the other videos I did. Other than that, my name is Poe. I'll see you guys next time, and good luck playing. And hope for the best that none of the characters that you really want are next season. Because most of you guys I know has someone for Lady Nagant, and yeah, number 2 character in the game. Secret character where I think everybody either had to pay money or not. I got lucky, but I almost drained myself for at least almost like 500 tickets to get her. I did not like that. Yeah, I hope they don't do secret characters again.